afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. I'm Charleene. It's so good to see you, and I love already seeing such sweet hellos coming up in the chat. Tell me where you're joining us from today. And take a deep exhale as you do it, because you are here now, right now. Hey, Jane, it's so good to see you. Jane with a Y. Jane joins us from the West Coast. I am currently on the East Coast of the United States in Florida, and we are relishing a beautiful afternoon, summertime rainstorm. Such a beautiful day. How's your day been? Good, I hope. Hey, Victor. Victor joins us from Dallas. It's good to see you. Victor, what are those numbers? Is that the zip code? It's pretty funny. It's like 90210. There you go. So as we continue, your zip code, I love it. So as we continue to make our way in, I know it's a slightly different time than we normally connect, so I'm glad you're able to join us. We thought we'd mix it up a little bit today, just had some other situations, and so we're glad to be with you right here, right now. It's an interesting day. It's a reflective yet tasking day of sorts, and that makes sense. Today we're finding that the moon is actually in conjunction with Saturn. And whenever two celestial bodies go into conjunction, what that means, you can almost think of it as they begin to work in synergy. So the aspects of the moon begin to flow with aspects of Saturn, and they kind of begin to overlap in many ways, almost like a Venn diagram of sorts. So you have this inner emotional world working, kind of this inward reflection that the moon represents and that connects us to on a deeper level, with this taskmaster of Saturn. And Saturn very much brings to mind all of the places that we have an opportunity to find new ways to approach life. So we're during this time, we'll see that relationships come up, and come up in such a way that we begin to have a greater awareness and understanding of anything that's blocking us from actually being thoroughly connected, our truest form, our truest sense of who we are, and then able to connect with someone else with where they are, honoring who they are and honoring who you or I are. So this energy it's this very gentle, get your stuff together that really is happening inside of us right now. So I don't know if you're feeling that, but I'd be curious to hear if you are. And that whenever we were thinking about today and thinking about the energy that goes with it, it made me think of a passage, actually, and I have a shirt on, but it talks about when this incredible sage who walked the earth 2,000 years ago, Jesus was talking about the idea of salt and light. And rather than take someone else's words of the original words that he uttered, I always go back to the original Aramaic. Aramaic is it's actually an energy language. It's much like Sanskrit. Energy languages are based on the vibration and a feeling that we get with a specific word because of the nuances that we understand that resonate behind that sound or that word. As opposed to, for instance, English, we're a very literal language. I'm very definite whenever I, for instance, describe what the palm tree behind me looks like with its lush green foliage dripping with a light dusting of rain, for instance. That tells you, it describes things, whereas the Aramaic and Sanskrit, Aramaic really connects us to the vibe, the energy. So I love this idea. And so I went back and I was looking at this idea of salt and light. And the original passage that is quoted is, Basically, Jesus says that you are the salt of the earth. Now, if that salt becomes flavorless, with what will it be salted? It's really interesting. It will be worth nothing except thrown on the ground to be trampled under people's feet. Salt. You are the light. You are the light of the world. A city that is built on a mountain cannot be hidden. So it brought me back actually to the energy of today. Salt, truest. There is nothing else like salt. How do you replace salt? What do you actually replace salt with? Have you ever tried a salt replacement? They're not very good, I can assure you. So salt is salt. The chemical structure may shift or alter a little bit to create different forms of it, but it is salt. And we have the experience, that salty taste that we get in our mouth. It is true to what it is. Saturn, the taskmaster, asks us, how can you be true to what you are, to who you are? But that was really cool. And then this idea of light. So if we look at the Aramaic of light, the Aramaic word for light is actually nura. When it's used metaphorically, it also means teaching or enlightenment or intelligence. And we talk about intelligence a lot, don't we? We talk about not a brain smart, not intellect, intelligence on a cellular level. Your body knows how to flow and function. Until we get in our own way, your body actually knows what to do. That's what it's made to do. We see that in the animals. We see that around us all the time. We see that in nature. So I really loved this idea of salt and light, of connecting with the truest sense of who we are to be able to find our greatest depth of intelligence. But to get there, sometimes we have to break down these walls. So today it's all about gently breaking down, releasing, whatever you want to think of it as. These walls that we build, and we build them from a place of ego, from mind, right? When I say ego here, I don't necessarily mean, whoa. How do you define that other than make a face like this? I don't mean that kind of ego, as in a macho or an out of balance side of our expression of our individuality. I mean it as that small voice inside that detracts us, that shifts us away from the centering point of your truth. So today, let's explore a little bit of salt and light. Let's see if we can't get back to some purity of truth of who we are. Just felt like it would be an interesting exploration while the moon is dancing as she is with Saturn. It's kind of cool in mythology. Saturn is actually the father of Jupiter. We all know and love Jupiter. He's Jupiter's daddy, so he's been around the block a little bit. So he knows what it is. He knows what it takes to manifest beauty in the world around, to have boons of good luck, of good fortune. But he also knows you gotta get your act together to make this kind of stuff happen. Otherwise, what's the point? You can have as much good luck as you want, but if you're not ready for it, where's the beauty in that? So, sometimes people get nervous about Saturn. I rather like him. I'm also a Capricorn. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, so makes sense. So if this is your first time here, let me see who else is. Hey, Lisa. Good to see you. Hi, Claire. Claire's joining us from Colorado. Claire, I'm not sure we've connected yet. It's lovely to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Lori. Oh, my sweet friend from Madison, Wisconsin. It's nice to see you. Are the leaves starting to change where you are, Lori? We're getting close to fall. 'Tis the season. Lisa. Nora, yeah. And it's actually, the Nora is Noorha, kind of how we would translate that into an English spelling. The Aramaic word for light. Interesting teaching, enlightenment, cellular intelligence. Yep. I love it. Thank you for reflecting that back. Absolutely. We're all about gently releasing walls today. This will be interesting. We may have some fun moments of dissonance. So we can start letting those walls crumble. Hey, Alexa. Ego, wounded parts. Absolutely. Well said. It's so true. And they have to put on that facade, right? You know, anytime we see that reflected out in the world around us, it's always such a nice reminder that, man, that person must be in a lot of pain. It's a lot easier for me to give grace. I know what it is to be in pain. I know you do too. You're so right, Alexa. It's nice to see you. Alexa joins us from London. Claire, you were here last week. Well, welcome back. Dorothy, our Scottish baking friend. I know you're not a baker, but I still envision your plum cakes every time I see your name. Dorothy says it's 8 p.m. in Scotland and dark now. Well, this will be a perfect way to drift off into a beautiful evening, Dorothy. So I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first time joining, welcome. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. So in front of you are 13. Wow. This guy's on point today. There are 13 chromatically tuned crystal singing bowls. And what makes them so powerful is that they're made out of over 99% quartz crystal. Quartz, as you know, carries a strong resonating potential. It actually, it's what you use in watches to create electricity. Make the little hands go back in the day, if you can remember those watches. It also runs computers. So there's a lot of information that passes through these bowls. And what happens whenever we join together is that the bowls begin to vibrate. They've already begun to vibrate the resonance of the day. So even when I sat down before you joined me, I was able to begin to feel what the bowls were kind of sensing in the air around them. And then whenever I jumped in as Charleene, they began to shift based on what was going on in my biofield, my electrical system. You're an electrical being. And the vibes that I'm putting out begin to influence what's happening in the bowls. Now, it's my job to listen to the vibration that you are bringing, that you're showing up with, and allowing the bowls to speak and reflect those vibrations back to you. So, as we always say, expect the unexpected. No two sessions are ever alike, for you can't walk through the same river twice. These bowls are tuned to 432 Hertz. This is exactly 432 Hertz, which directly connects to the frequency of Mother Earth, 7.83 Hertz, that if we were to actually hear a pitch in this octave, would sound like this. So these bowls have a very grounding connection just because of how they're tuned in relationship to each other. When we come together, we divide our time into moments of retuning so we can augment the space, come together as a community, so that we can release and then receive. There's no right or wrong way to experience today. Just listen. If you'd like to listen with headphones, that's groovy too. You'll get to hear some of the binaural beating that happens with the bowls, especially when bowls are played that are close together. And sometimes this dissonance can be a little jarring at first, but if you can physically, allow yourself to fall into it. For this is where we begin to loosen and release energy. We'll never stay too long. We'll be there just long enough. So if you're able, fall into those moments, those opportunities for release. Otherwise, just gently back away, and this too shall pass. Like everything in life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the beautiful. So I invite you now almost as though you're covering this area between your eyes. It's your third eye. Just think about just gently covering that. And as you're covering it, begin to think, imagine, or feel, and start to bring into this area. Just see the color of indigo, a nighttime sky, like the sky over Scotland right now. Just see that beginning to come in to this sixth chakra. Just gently let that go. Release your hand. In your mind's eye, I'd like you to begin to witness any place in your physical body or your energy bodies, your space around you, that feels as though if you were to touch it, you'd be met with a point of resistance. In the physical body, that can sometimes manifest as pain, tight shoulder, sore knee, an ankle that feels unstable, pain in the low back, sciatica. In the energy body, you actually can begin to feel a tightness or a resistance around you. Now, we are made up of 5 main bodies, the physical being only the one that we see. There are 4 other bodies that exist outside of our physical space. Collectively, we refer to these as our energy bodies. And they go from where you can feel them a little more readily the closer you are to your physical body, because they have more density. And the farther out you go, the more subtle this energy becomes. Let's take a few moments, and if this is comfortable or inviting to you, begin to explore either your physical body or your subtle bodies. Some of you may have an experience, a tactile experience. You can feel hardness under your hand. Some may sense it with their mind. Ooh, I detect something here. Some may hear it. I can't hear in this area. Some may see it as a color, a dense color that you can't see through. However you're experiencing these walls, begin to notice them. Begin to just gently flow your attention there. Sometimes we understand walls, boundaries, dividers, separations, anything which keeps us disconnected, either from ourselves or from others. We notice these because they block our connection of our truest self. Our truest self is that of ultimate connection. There is no division. The oneness of which we all are. The salt, your unique expression that can't be matched, it can't be duplicated. And nature would never want it to be. Your unique story, footprint here in this world. So let's begin to release all of these walls that keep us from being our truest selves, that salt. noticed how a candle, a single flame, can illuminate any amount of darkness. The walls that you have been releasing, that you have been choosing to let go, these things that no longer serve you, they're making way for new light, intelligence on a cellular level, something that is innate, cannot be duplicated by anything that man would ever dare to construct, ever could construct. It's impossible. In these new found places of freedom, what do you want to bring in? If you could bring anything in right now, what would it be? Maybe it's a color. Maybe it's a feeling. Maybe it's a physical sensation. Anything. When the moon takes us to task with Saturn, we are the ones who connect more deeply with who we are at our very core, more so than anyone else could ever attempt to communicate, share, or even reflect back. So what is your truth today? Begin receiving that right now. Just allow it to flood in. So good. invite you to think, imagine, or feel a beautiful red. See that red begin to enter your physical body at the base of your spine, the sacrum area. Just feel that red fill your entire hip bowl area. And then see that red transform into a brilliant orange color as it moves upwards towards your navel. Drinking in that juicy orange color. And then feeling that vibration shift up to just under your diaphragm in your solar plexus area. It becomes a vibrant gold and yellow. You may see it as a citrine gold. You may see it as a canary yellow. Just experience yellow all throughout your solar plexus. Yellow begins to shift and morph as it flows upwards towards the area of your heart into an emerald green. Soak in that green, just like the earth soaks in water after a dry spell. Seeing that emerald dance and move upwards towards your throat into a sapphire blue, a bright blue, a sky blue. You'll know you are blue when you see it. Then witness how that blue grows darker into an indigo. You can still see straight through this beautiful night sky color. There's a softness to it, but a depth unlike anything. And then finally witness that indigo become a vibrant violet into the center of your head, all the way up where you wear your crown, the top of your head. And then think, imagine, or feel a wall, a comforting, impenetrable wall of white light coming directly at you, filling your entire space. Bringing in any other color that you're still looking for, maybe something you didn't know you need. You're sitting in an ocean of white, radiating, dancing, luminous. Breathe it in. Take a deep inhale. Gently exhale. Take a deep inhale of this beautiful moonlight white that you created around yourself. And then exhale and let it go. One last deep inhale, holding in as much of that white as you can. And then release. How are you feeling? Welcome back, friends. Never a dull moment when Saturn shows up. Never a lack of sweetness. Because the moon is always present around us. How are you feeling? Tell me in the chat if that's something that's accessible to you. I'd love to hear. Let me reflect back what happened with the bowls. It was very interesting. It was very distinctly today. It was kind of partitioned into upward and lower. You know, the bowls really wanted to bring us towards this integrated place, a deeper intuition, which is what the moon is, right? The moon represents that, going within. The intuition we really hung out with, and we started as well. We started with our heart, but we also then went immediately into that sixth chakra. The sixth chakra is our seat of intuition. It's where you know that you know that you know. There's just things that you know. Sometimes we relate this to a gut feeling. Well, that connects directly into the area right there by the pineal. So there was a lot of intuition that was kicking today. And then there was also kind of moving around in these upper chakras. We would go a little bit into this E, which connects to the solar plexus, just to bring us into that power point, to bring us back into our body. But this was all a very lunar kind of vibe. And then our boy Saturn shows up and really kind of shifted us into a very grounded state where we moved into the lower parts of the bowls, but also moved a little bit into the body. A lot of times these are the moments. Lower pitches will frequently bring us to a point of seriousness. Think about when you're having a conversation. You could just be totally talking with someone and your voice might be in a slightly higher register. But when you bring home a point, have you ever noticed how your voice will frequently drop? There's a seriousness to it. It was interesting to witness the bowls do that. I thought it was super cool. I also thought, too, one last thing to mention about the intuition. I have never had a bowl jump like this guy did. And out of nowhere, the vibration was so intense, but it was also so subtle because I had no indication under my hands. It just literally jumped. And I thought that is interesting and worthy of note that I wanted to share with you. And, there really was this lunar intensity of intuition connected with this Saturn energy, kind of like, you know what, let's get down to business. So how did it feel to you? I'd love to see. I think I had seen, Victor, you like to see all 13 bowls at once. Yes, that is really cool, isn't it? That's thanks to Jeremy. He knows how to work that magic. I take absolutely no credit. So it's very cool. The setup today, hey T lady, that's good to see you. This setup today is fly. I love it. Yes. Well, this is our second time with this particular setup. We had kind of, I think yesterday it was, we flipped our world, literally. And so we're now on the other side of the studio, and you get to kind of see the other side. We've been doing some filming. I'm so excited. We have a new album that'll be releasing. It's called Aligned, a planetary mantra and gong shower. and it's dropping on September 30th. So we've been filming a lot of the different supporting marketing pieces for it and talking about it and doing all the interviews and the discussions and a lot of other fun treats that I'm so excited to share with you. If you ever wonder what would be a good mantra for you or something that would connect you to maybe a certain frequency, like when Mercury is going totally wonko, what mantra should I chant? Mantra just means mind tool. It's a tool of the mind. It connects us back into a space of not thinking. We move away from English. Remember the descriptive, very defining language, which can be very effective, but it can also put us in a box. So sometimes when we need to shift out of the box and just rely on vibration, we use these mantras, these ancient tools of the mind to step away, to step out of the box into the truest aspects of vibratory healing. So I'm super stoked to share that with you. So that's why we're doing it. That's why we're here. But we just kind of liked it. We're like, well, let's just kind of keep this up here for now. So we'll see. Well, you know us. We like to mix it up a little. But thank you so much for noticing. So, Jeremy, what do we have above? Yeah. Hey, Tom, I'm so glad you're here. It's nice to see you, my friend. Glad you could be here with us, especially at a slightly different time today. Lori, you thought the bowls were beautiful and you dozed off a bit. Yes, totally. Lori, I have to admit, I was kind of expecting, and again, this is why I expect the unexpected, right? But I was almost expecting a little more. Break down the walls! But as I reflect on that, that's really... For me, that's really ego-based, right? Because sometimes the most effective change that we can ever make is the subtlest shift, the single ripple, whoosh, that creates movement to an otherwise still pond or surface. So dozing off is also a really powerful way that you were releasing. I'm so excited to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. Sometimes I have my most profound releases, and they're usually things that in my conscious mind, are not, in some way, I'm either not prepared to deal with, it's either a little too much, I want to go deeper, but for whatever reason, either my physical body's just tired, or I've had a little too much going on in here. Sometimes my body's like, all right, let's hook you up, let's just doze off a little bit. Then let your spirit do the work, and then you can come back and receive all the benefits. So good for you. That's so great. That's a good way to do it. And kind of what the bowls were, besides this one guy jumping over here. Maybe he was being a little alarm clock. Lisa, wow, this was magical. Oh, cool. I'm so glad you enjoyed that. And when you said go deeper, I let the tears flow. Good. I so needed this. You love the clear quartz crystals and the rose quartz. Yeah, they are very, very powerful, aren't they? Your bowls are beautiful. Yes, they are. Thank you so much. Thank you for reflecting back so that they can create things of beauty. That's what they do. That's their job, and they do it really, really well. I'm glad that we connected as well. It's a pleasure. It's very grounding. Yeah, and it goes back to that frequency that these bowls are tuned to. So the cool thing about how these bowls are set up is that, so just like you were saying how you love quartz and you love the rose quartz, rose quartz is just a slight variation. It's still the same basic molecular structure as the quartz. It just brings in this, for those who aren't familiar with rose quartz, it's just a pink quartz. Not just, never say it's just. In fact, I have rose quartz sitting right above me right now. But it brings in this softer vibration of love. So quartz, white quartz that we think of, is a magnifier. It's an amplifier. Whatever you put it with, it's going to amplify it. It's going to set it on fire. It really brings things to a surface. It's also very clearing because of that. So there's a strong grounding force that comes with the clear quartz, and that's kind of how we see what was happening with the bowls. And that's so beautiful of this, the softness that very much like the moon. There's a great connection with all quartz and the moon. Different quartzes kind of connect more to that sun, that solar energy, as opposed to the selenites, the softer quartzes, rose quartz, they have that more of a lunar flow. So Nilam, hi, it's nice to see you. I'm glad. So you're feeling energized. Isn't that incredible? Sometimes we don't have to shout to be heard. So these bowls, they definitely were not shouting too much today, except this little guy. He was dancing. But there is this opportunity then to realign, and maybe I wonder if this sounds true for you. A lot of times when we can let go, we let go with the baggage. We take off those things that were traipsing around with us. It's a lot easier to run. Heck, it's a lot easier to walk. Suddenly we can stand up straight. Oh, this is me carrying my purse around all the time. It's not a purse. It's literally a Mary Poppins bag. It's like that big and it's filled to capacity. I swear I could probably pull out a penguin out of it or something. It's ridiculous. So when I put it down, it's like, oh, I can just breathe. Emotional baggage is the same way, just like my bag. When we let it go, there's this opportunity for an energy to flow, to be re-energized. So that's so cool. Thanks for sharing. I love that. Dorothy, you're still and sleepy now. See? Two sides, same coin, right? We're very Janice Head-esque around here. I love it. Your hands moved around my aura. Cool. Your energy was shifting a lot. That is amazing. It's so true. The subtleness of when we connect to the lunar energy, that the softness of the moon's rays, and especially at that end when we brought in all that white energy. White being the presence of all light, even light that we can't see. But when bringing all of that in and then actually feeling that affecting your space. So I can imagine, especially you've had a long day, you're ready, you're done. I hope you rest well, sweet sister. It's going to be a good night for you. I appreciate you being here as you drift off. So, Angel. Hi, Angel. It's nice to see you, my friend. Always a highlight of my day to enjoy the bowls. Yeah, the bowls, they do their thing. Well, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for sharing your kind words. It's nice to see you. And always such a beautiful name. I know. Every time I see it, it brings a smile and it uplifts. So I'm sure you have that effect on everyone. That's quite a gift that you give to the world. Just by having a name. Good job, Mom. Or whomever. Alexa Klee. Same here. Oh, highlight of your day. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined us. It's always good to see you. Claire, me too. You dozed off like Dorothy and still a little sleepy. Good. Well, Claire, I'm hoping that your day is beginning to wind down so that you can kind of get to a point and find your softness, whatever that is. And if not, a lot of times, so there were two energizing exercises that if you need to come back after that little bit of a softness, if this feels good to you, I won't go full out, so you can just kind of see. I don't want to pull Dorothy out of her stillness. But if you rub your hands together very quickly, you'll create a lot of heat and friction. You'll begin to feel the energy building under your palms. Then take a deep breath in. I feel like maybe for you, if you're going to do this, you might want to cup your hands and actually breathe in that energy. Just hold your hands over your eyes. So I would rub your hands for about anywhere, at least 30 seconds, maybe upwards of a minute and a half, depending on how much you need to reactivate. You can lay your hands flat on your eye, or you can cup. They'll have slightly different effects, and you'll notice. So that's a fun one. Another one, too, if I ever need, is I just, It's a great energy medicine tip. I just kind of put my thumb directly under my nose, and I kind of push in and up, and that will wake you up. It's like a burst of peppermint, and you didn't even know you needed it. I mean, this is such a sensitive area within the body. There's a lot of points that happens right there. So sometimes if you need immediate reawakening, it's not the most focusing energy, but it definitely reawakens you. So if you need that. Lisa, intuition. Yes, I needed to let go of the walls, which this helped me connect to the light. Yes, because I've been feeling disconnected. Yeah, there's a lot going on that pulls us in those off-centered places. I hear you. And now I feel this childlike feeling coming back in. And the colors were so vibrant. Amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah. It's interesting when we think we can only perceive that which we have experienced. But if we flip that on its head, we can say we can only experience that which we have perceived. So if we go outside our normal boundaries of perspective, perception, a whole new worlds begin to open up for us. So, yeah, and aligned. That's actually the whole point of the album. Of going out so that we can come back expanded. That's so cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you're excited. Yay. It will be on Spotify, absolutely. And we are I am not 100% sure if it'll be if that full album will be on Insight Timer, but I think it will. But it's definitely streamable anywhere, whether you want to download it or if you just want to stream it on your favorite platform, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, any and every place that you want to go. For sure it'll be there. And I think we're also going to be doing an exclusive Insight Timer release with it too, so you can meditate to it, because it's such a perfect form of meditation, especially combining that mantra mind tool with these healing frequencies that we bring in. We're all about creating frequencies that actually scientifically show that they heal. You have an opportunity to accept these frequencies into your system and begin to realign yourself on a cellular level. And we have the science that shows you can cultivate healing in this way. So I need to step out of the box. Yeah. those darn boxes. It's like my darn handbag. So flippin' heavy. Yes, you see the violet in the bowls and the green. Yes, this was subtle and gentle. Good. You felt fear released. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. You've been feeling very emotional. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now. We're moving in besides what we talked about today. So I encourage us all, choir, to be gentle with ourselves. This is a time of great expansion, and that's seldom pleasant, but it's always necessary, and it's always worth it. So good for you. Lori, thank you for being here, my friend. I always love seeing you. Bring a smile to my face. Victor, the B flat, no, it was the A that was bouncing. Yeah, it was the A that was bouncing. It was the A that kind of connects us directly into that. It really touches into the pineal. Very much it's in that sixth chakra area. And remember when we talk about chakras, like we talk about the 7 main chakras, there's a lot more. 112 that we can deal with, 114, but 112 that we can actually work with. So, plus we have all of the nadis, which are these energy centers. Think about kind of like threads. Energy threads, much like meridians, like in Chinese medicine, but there's 72,000 of them. So there's all kinds of energy centers that we connect with, and these bowls activate in very unique ways. The other thing too, I'll note, this was random side note, it was interesting to watch the bowls today really wanted to lock into specific tonality. So depending on, just very briefly, depending on where a note occurs in the scale, the pitch will begin to kind of shift or be centered in different ways depending on its relationship with another note that's being played. Just kind of leave it at that. It's much more complicated, but it's really not. It's just kind of that easy, actually. So sometimes these bowls will actually begin to shift, and you'll see me move my hand. I'm actually helping the energy either release out of the bowl, I'm helping pitches begin to release so that the vibrations can move more fluidly around me. And sometimes today the bowls were like, nope, I'm staying in my tonality. I ain't going over here. I'm staying here. I thought that was really interesting to note. So there was a very centering aspect. There was a purity. Maybe it goes back to this idea of salt and light. You know, salt. I just have loved thinking about this so much, of this idea of that salt is salt is salt. You are you are you. That's juicy. So, yeah. Susan, You carry a big purse too. I salute you, sister. Dorothy, you're most welcome. It was very special. Thank you for being here. Lisa, oh, you donated and said it was all set but didn't show. You're on your iPhone. Let me know if you got it. I'm following you now. Yay, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for following me. And thank you for your kind donation. Thank you for bringing that up. A lot of times that happens is the Insight Timer. It won't always show up in the chat, but it always shows up on our end. And I have to apologize to all of my sweet friends this week. I have been remiss for not sending my thank yous yet for the messages. I actually haven't been back on Insight Timer just as a function of timing. So please know, even if I don't acknowledge you here right now, I will acknowledge you. And I thank you so much for your support. It's what helps us do what we do and be able to share and you know, if this resonates with you, of course, I appreciate your donations. Thank you so much. I appreciate you following us so you can always stay tuned to the latest things. I also appreciate you sharing, you know, building this community out. That means the world to me as well. If you know someone who you think, I bet they actually might kind of like this, I might kind of dig on it, you know, please forward this to them. We'd love to share space with them. Also, we do have more programming that's coming up, one of which I'm going to highlight really quickly. I know Dorothy probably wants to jump off and go night-night, but we have started a new series. It's called The Healing Circle, and what it does, it fuses the power of your intention with affirmation and the bowls. So on Sundays at 12:25 p.m. Eastern Time, we come together because starting at 12:30 Eastern, going all the way for an hour till 1:30, we take 10 minutes and direct healing energy, affirmation, and intention, also scientifically shown to shift energy and outcomes in both human, in bodies, as well as in machinery, which will blow your mind. But we take 10 minutes and we send these positive vibrations towards 6 of our brothers or sisters. And every week they're different. There's people that join us from all around the world. It's a really cool experience. If you would like to participate, reach out to me. Just send me a direct message. We won't be coming together this Sunday on the September 11th, but we are back at September 18th. Jeremy, is that date? Is it the 18th? Yes, he's giving me a thumbs up. It's the 18th. So if you want to be a part of that healing circle session, or if you know someone who would, reach out to me, either direct message me or forward your friend that event that's been posted so that you can maybe share that healing with them. We'll give them some more information so that see if they're comfortable with, or if you haven't experienced one yet, you can also check out all of our archived Instagram lives. They're actually on YouTube. You can find all of them on YouTube. So if you ever want to go back and you're like, this was exactly what I needed in that moment, and I kind of want to recreate that time, you can do that. They're all on our YouTube platform. And you can, of course, find that through our teachers page. Just go and click on the website. It'll take you where you need to go. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I hope that those things bless you as much as you bless me. So Lisa, I appreciate you. You're going to go check out the wall. It was a really rough day for you, and this helped so much. Thank you for your kind words, my friend. You know, rough days suck, but they always pay off because they make the good days so much better. So you know what? I'm going to claim that tomorrow is going to be a great day for you. And the rest of your day as well. And for all of us. This is life. The good, the bad, the ups, the downs. So I'm so glad you're here, Lisa. Thank you. Claire, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Lisa. Yeah. Yay. Yes, so many meditators here. And there were 112 meditators here when we mentioned the 112 chakras. Look at that. The universe works in mysterious ways. You never know what you're going to get. So, thank you so much for joining. Remember that the purest form of who you are, is the most perfect form of you. Thank you for letting me get a glimpse into who you are. Thank you for letting me share who I am as well. And I pray that your path is easy. The road is always illuminated, and may you, in your truest sense, always remember your salt and light. Until I see you again, my friends, know how much I love you, and be well. Sat Nam.